So one of them was that that I was talking rubbish. Someone was actually telling me that my accent is shite. I'm going to say this. I'm an African. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wemimo and I'm also known as StartMomo5 and also known as TMO5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. So today I just want to say welcome to the new subscribers we've got, because there's been an influx of new subscribers and I really appreciate and welcome you all. And I felt I should come back and address comments from the video of the 4 Nigerians that were jailed for rough handling the vulnerable patient in a care home. I'm going to pop the screenshot of that video here, and I'm also going to pop it in the cards in case you've not watched it. And also I have another video where I spoke about the things you should not do as a healthcare worker if you're going to go provide care to a vulnerable person in their home. I'm also going to leave that card, the video cards, in the card up there as well. So me coming back to address comments, I just want to point out a few things that as a care worker or as a social care worker, there are some professional bodies. So I believe in Scotland we've got HCPC, which are the Health and Care Professionals Council. So they kind of like regulate all radiographers, dietitians, paramedics, physiotherapists, art opticians, optometrists. So they regulate all those bodies. And then I think the other regulator in England is called Care Quality Commission. So they are kind of like regulates the authorities that provide care, either as a charity base or with the NHS or in the community, as long as you provide care in the community to either people of all ages regardless of their vulnerabilities. So that's that. And in Scotland we've got triple SC. So these are professional bodies. So we've got triple SC, which is the Scottish Social Services Council. Also there are professional bodies that you will join. So upon you starting a job in the care sector, you will have to, as a healthcare provider or as a social services or a social worker, you will need to join that professional body before you can practice as a care worker. So for instance, I'm a nurse. I need to register with the NMC, Nursing and Midwife Council. So only then will I be able to work in the UK as a nurse. If I don't register with them, I can't work as a nurse in the UK. So same thing is for people who are care workers or who are in the social and care working sector. So for me coming back here, like I said, I was gonna come address comments because that video has been, you know, I'm glancing at that because I've got my phone. I'm going to be reading the comments. So there's a lot of comments in here, and I would say there's over maybe 850 or 600 comments underneath that video, and of all these people spoke well and agreed that these 4 people did something wrong. And there's been a few who were like, so they are the comments I'm going to be addressing. So one of them was that that I was talking rubbish. Someone was actually telling me that my accent is shite. I'm going to say this. I'm an African, and I'm not the kind of African who will be abroad and be faking accents. No, I will speak my English just as if I've just arrived from Nigeria today. So if you have a problem with my accent, just ignore the fact that it is an African person talking, but take heed of the message, okay? And then the second thing people were talking about was the fact that some were still saying they did not see anything wrong, that if that was a child, that they would grab a child and, you know, provide care. And I was like, let me address that. A child is different from an adult. So someone also educated me on how dementia happens, that dementia is not age-related illness. That person, wherever you are, your brain is probably underneath your shoe. So many things contribute to dementia, and age is one of it. I don't want to start going into how the brain forms, if it's vascular or muscular. I don't need to go into all of that because that's not the purpose of this video. But let's even take away the fact that dementia does not come from aging. This is an elderly, frail, vulnerable person being given care to. See, as a nurse, there's a way you touch a patient. So I was just speaking to my husband this morning about when a patient comes into recovery, there are some pressure pumps that we put on. So if I'm going to take off those stockings, there's a way I lift their legs, I lift their arm. I just don't grab, I just don't grab and remove the blood pressure cuff, or I just don't grab their arms and place blood pressure cuff on. No, I would explain like, hello, my name is so this. I'm going to be looking after you in recovery. Is it okay if I place this blood pressure cuff on your arm? That way I'm conversing with them. So this is obviously someone who has capacity. But with someone who does not have capacity, there's a touch technique that you apply. You just don't grab. You just don't push. You just don't pull. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. That aside, and others also said, oh, it's only Africans, it's people that are coming from African countries that are doing care jobs. Let the Oyibo people keep their parents or families in their house and look after them. And I'm going to say to you, this is a country with a culture, with a way of life. Just as we that are coming from Africa or from wherever we are coming from, we have our own society, we have our own culture. But here, this is their way of life. For the fact that they are sending some of their family members to a care home might be too hard for them to take, like, you know, emotionally, maybe it's draining for them, mentally it's draining for them. But then they've put their loved ones in a care home to be cared for. And as a healthcare worker that you are being paid to provide their services. You've been trained, you've gone to school, either college or uni, to become healthcare provider. So if you're now in a care home, or if you're now in a situation whereby you are providing care to vulnerable people, and you're doing it in a negative way, what is the essence of that schooling or education you got? What is the advantage? What is the benefit? Because you're going to school, college, uni, having all those training is to better the service you're going to provide, is to better the care you're going to provide. So why provide shitty behavior? So you're being paid for that service. It's not as if you're a care worker in that facility and you're not being paid. And you can't come from where you've originated from and start telling people whose country you've come to borrowed to stay and tell them how to live their lives, or how to care for their loved ones, or how to run the care home. You've been paid to provide the service you've been trained for. That being said, another comment was that, oh, they were not trained. I can categorically and 100% say to you that they were trained. When a care job is being advertised, they might say experience is not essential, experience is not basic, experience is not important, but a can-do attitude. You will always be trained, either in-house or classroom training. And care home organizations or employers, care assistant employers, will train you because they need to cover their backs for instances that we are talking about here. And they will have proof of the training they've given you. Training on how to use stand aids, training on healthcare, moving and handling, what to say and how not to say, if you know what to do when a resident is being violent. You will be trained. Training, they always train you. And they train you for audit purposes. Because a care commission can just walk into a care home and say they want to, audit them. That's when you see lots of people. In fact, some carers will even run and go and hide because they might be hijacked and they might ask you a few questions just to know if you know. And then, if you go to a care job and you're not being offered any training, please do not go back to that job, because if anything like this happens, you'll be left to hang and dry on your own. Okay? And all these professional bodies, there are standards that have been set, and I'm just going to read the one from HCPC. They've got 4 standards that you're supposed to meet. One of them is standards of conduct, performance, and ethics. So you've been given this policy, and it's up to you to read and look at how you can implement it into the service and care you provide. There is standards of proficiency. There is standards of continuing professional development. So obviously, you being in the care sector as a care worker, you want to continue developing your career. So there will be trainings, there will be seminars from your work, and then that way you can brush up on your skills on how you want to get better at your job. Just because you are now a carer does not mean you stop studying. No, even me that I'm sitting out here, I'll still undergo training. I still undergo my own personal my own personal studying. And I was still saying to somebody that I'd never say never. I might just go back and do more so that I could specialize in other fields of nursing. Just because I'm now a nurse does not mean that I don't want to brush up on my skills. I still brush up my skills in terms of IV, in terms of medication, in terms of controlled drugs, in terms of how to mix drugs. I still brush up on my skills every day, even though I'm not supposed to. It's not a must, but it's what I want to do because I owe that to myself and to the people I care for. And the last one, standards relevant to education and training. Don't shy away from training that your organization or your employer is providing for you. Go, because they are paying for it and it's to your own good. Because you are taking all of this, you are getting all of this training, all of this education from them, and if you decide to leave that organization, you will take it somewhere else, which means you're progressing because your continuing education is still ongoing. So don't just say, oh, because you are a carer now, you don't have to do further training, you don't have to do further studying. Please don't do that. And the most stupidest comment I read was someone like, oh, do you think it's easy for people whose lives were enslaved? Like, this is 2024. And I remember the response I gave to that person was that if you, the commenter, want to dwell on the slave trade years, that was in the past. But right now, we are not dwelling on the past. We are dwelling on the current and the forthcoming. So because they enslaved Africans or the ones adults as slaves, does that mean in present age you've been trained? The training does not cost you a penny. You've been provided, organizations and so many things to make sure your job is easier for you. And then you think, oh, because you have that mentality of, oh, they enslaved Africans, so I'm going to go there and not care for people who are vulnerable. That's a shitty talk. That's a shitty talk. There's many more comments there, but feel free to go watch that video. Like I said, I'm going to pop it in the comment section and also in the description box. And all these healthcare professional bodies, I'm going to link them in the description box so you can go there. And there's so many policies that you can read to help you understand what the healthcare professional jobs really entails. It's not just about oh, they pay 50 quid an hour. It's not just about the money. It should be because you care. Like I always say, it's because you care, you're compassionate, you advocate. Yes, as a carer, you want to be in a situation where you can advocate for your clients, for the people you're looking for. You want to be able to stand there, For me, if I'm going to give care, the care I'm going to give is the way I'm going to care for any member of my family. Or even for myself, because I know at some point I'm going to get old. And wherever I belong to or wherever I end up when I'm old, I don't know. But the kind of care I want is what I'm going to give. And also, somebody mentioned, obviously, because I shared my experience of working in a care home, that whistleblowing. Yes, whistleblowing is a good thing as well. If you see things that are being done wrongly around you, I will advise that you take yourself away from that situation instantly and whistleblow about it. Because at times, obviously, I know some of our African counterparts are like, oh, when something happens, like I said in my previous video, that I was threatened when I was in a care home working and I saw something some of these people were doing. Yeah, at that moment, I could have left that job and, whistleblow and say these things are going on. But for my safety then, my safety was what I was thinking of, like, no, I'm going to step away. And which was what led to me going to study nursing. So with me being a nurse, I have more leverage, I have more understanding of what I could do when things are not going the right way. So I thought I want to make this video too long. I just thought I would come and address a few comments. And if you want to read any of these comments I've mentioned above, like I said, the video is still on my channel. Go watch it. I'm not coming back here just because I want to bash people or because I'm happy seeing my fellow Nigerians being locked up in shackles. No, I'm just here to make sure that you learn from what they've done and you become a better person. Because there's lots of bad things going on in the world right now, and you contributing that other attitude of negativity is not what you want to do. because we are all clamoring for a better and safe society. And that better clamoring and safety starts from you and I. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain on this video for today. Feel free to share your comments in the comment section, and if you're yet to subscribe, don't forget to subscribe. Share this video because, like I said, there's lots of our friends, Africans and other people from all over the world who are coming into care jobs, and we want to make sure we are protecting ourselves while we are providing care, because yes, you are providing care for the vulnerable people, you are vulnerable as well, so you have to make sure you are safe while you are providing this care. So please feel free to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you're yet to do so, share this video, turn on the post notification, and I hope to catch up with you in my next video. All right, bye.